Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. God has given us unlimited treasures in His Word. Every time we open it, we can discover a new treasure or admire an old one. What will we find today? Here's Carla Early with Treasure Hunt in the Word.
If you had a brother or sister or really close friend growing up, you might have certain words only between the two of you that elicit gales of laughter or that have special meaning in your family. My daughter has a certain look when we say something that annoys her. When a friend of hers went shopping with us one day, he saw a bag with an owl on it that had exactly that look. He pointed to it and said, "Look, it's Becca." Now when we annoy her on purpose, we know that we're going to get that look, and we mention the owl, then we all laugh. Little things like that create close bonds and good memories in a relationship. Many of these little things aren't even explainable to other people. If you think about it, you can probably think up many of your own. Do you have any with God? Little symbols that remind you of what God has done for you or His promises. Noah and all of mankind since then had the rainbow. The Israelites had the Passover and other feast days or festivals. My garage door opener at the last place we lived reminded me of the day I'd had it in my pocket when the kids and I were picking berries and I lost it. The three of us prayed about it, retraced our steps, and Becca found it in the high weeds next to a clump of blackberry bushes. Going to Walmart when it rains reminds me of the day that God turned off the rain just long enough for me to get the kids inside without getting soaked, just because I asked Him to. Singing in church every Sunday reminds me of the 7 months I couldn't sing after my thyroid surgery, and how grateful I am that God gave me back my voice. All those things are symbols of how much God loves me and cares for me. God had one of those things with His prophet Jeremiah. In chapter 1, He just called Jeremiah as His prophet and promised to be with him and deliver him, when the Lord gave him a special symbol. He asked, "Jeremiah, what do you see?" Jeremiah replied, "I see a branch of an almond tree." The Lord said, "You have seen well, for I am ready to perform my word." Now, much like the owl or other unexplainable inside jokes, we might read this and think, "I don't get it." But Jeremiah was from Anathoth, not far from Jerusalem. One thing that area was known for was, guess what? Almonds. It actually still is. So an almond tree branch would be something common in Jeremiah's everyday life. But it would suddenly have new meaning for him. Every time he saw one, he would remember that God was faithful to fulfill His promises. The Lord actually used a play on words here. The word for almond tree in the Hebrew is very similar to the word for watch, which is the word that He used when He says, "I'm ready to fulfill my word." It really means, watch me fulfill my word. So as Jeremiah saw the almond trees bud that spring, he could remember to be on the lookout for God's promises to be fulfilled. I can't help thinking that this symbol would prompt Jeremiah to remember the time the Israelites challenged Moses and Aaron's leadership. The brothers didn't even have to defend themselves. The Lord gave proof that He had chosen them by having the leaders of all the tribes write the name of their tribe on a rod and place them in the tabernacle. The next morning, Aaron's rod with Levi written on it had sprouted, budded, blossomed, and yielded ripe almonds. So Jeremiah could also remember, as he saw almond trees every day, that God would take care of him and give him credibility before the people without him needing to say a thing. What symbols remind you of God's promises? We all have the cross to bring to remembrance His sacrifice. We also have baptism and the Lord's Supper. But what personal reminders do you have of His care and promises? I'd love to hear about them. And the next time you eat almonds, they can remind you of God's faithfulness.
You can contact us at treasurehuntintheword@gmail.com. We'd love to hear the treasures God has given you through His Word. You can listen to other episodes at our website, which you can find in the description below. Thanks for listening, and remember, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.